Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. This is episode 38. The inevitable I hate this moment of our year situation hits once again, and it's the required junior Grand Slam that we keep getting put into, and then we succeed at. So it maintains our ranking, and so then they keep requiring us to come back to do it again and again. Otherwise, we would drop junior tournaments altogether, but here we are again, right back in Paris for the Roland-Garros Junior. Uni has only slipped to number 5. We did 3 tournaments a year ago, and yet we're still top 5 and have to be the favorite. Gabriella Tudor is the new number 1 in the juniors, and of course Grant has the same issue. She's here, as is Hetherington. Jovic somehow has escaped this one. Maybe age. Is she 19 now? I think she might be. Let's see how they fare. Now it's in the first round. Jovic was playing in a World Tour 60 level and has a serious injury, but actually that doesn't sound that serious. It's just a sprain, a wrist sprain, but it is going to take her a while to recover from that one. No training, no competition. Jovic is going to struggle even more now. Not quite donuts in the next round, but it's still looking really good. 10th ranked junior in the third round, and it's still very comfortable as we continue on in the tournament. Tournament update: Hetherington had a difficult first round draw against the 7 seed. Won the opening set but could not move on to the second round, so she's been out for a while. But meanwhile, you've had Grant, unseeded, unranked, move on well so far. She's into the quarterfinals against the 3 seed though, so not going to be an easy quarterfinal match. And we are in the quarterfinals as well against Kruger, somebody who I'm in the middle of scouting right now and looks like actually a very, very high potential player. And Tudor, the 1 seed, was knocked off by her just a round ago. So it's our second straight against a top 10 opponent, but this time it's only 1 spot higher instead of right to the top of the rankings. Still considered an easy match for us, and we get through pretty easily, doubling up on the winners. Grant can't get past the 3 seed, and that's who we play next in the semifinal. 8 and 7 in the other, so we could complete a trio of players on the back end of the top 10 if we get past Samsonova. Considered an easy match against the 18-year-old. Does it turn out to be so? Closest match we've had yet at 6-3, 6-4, but still fairly comfortable. Unforced errors was a little high for my liking. I think that's what kept it a little closer, but plus 12 on winners. Faced a number of break points, survived a few of them, but that I think is what kept things a little bit closer. A few double faults, also a bit of a mistake. We were a bit more error prone today than we normally are. 55% of points won still in the end though. And we do complete the perfect trio of playing against the 8, 9, and 10th ranked player plus the 3rd ranked player along the way. And will this turn into a tournament win as it's the juniors? I honestly could not care less at this point. I'm rather annoyed by the fact that they continue to force us to compete in these despite our total non-interest at this point, as we are focused on much, much bigger tournaments considered easy, and the job is complete. So that is another junior Grand Slam title for Uni. 6-2, 6-2. Even easier, that 3 seed, the only one who even offered much of a challenge. Plus 11 on the winners, much cleaner. Plus 3 on the unforced errors. 4 out of 5 break points converted. She never even got into that situation. Post-tournament, Uni's reflexes, max, now a 20. Serve accuracy also up to a 17. So we start the period reports in the World Tour, up to 10th in the rankings, though it wasn't a fantastic period for us, but it was also a very short period. 7 out of 75% of our tournaments, matches during tournaments, turned out to be victories. We won one of those 4 tournaments. It was still a decent period. All this red had more to do with it's the shorter period that you play in. Of course, in the juniors, we had slipped to 5th, but we just finished that tournament, so I would imagine we're going to go back in an upward trajectory after winning. Grant, her position improved significantly, in fact by more than half, increase of 290 positions, and she's now into almost the top 250. She did win 1 tournament out of the 6 she played and had a very, very good win-loss record during that stretch. Grant, meanwhile, got through 3 rounds. I would imagine that's going to see her rank jump up. Jovic in the World Tour, only up 2 spots, did win some more points than what she had in the previous period, but only won 1 out of the 7 matches she's played, and has only won 1 out of her last 13. Jovic has been just appallingly bad for a long period of time. Not a great stretch for Lackey, only 4 wins out of 10 matches played. Hope for better going forward, especially in the development department. But Hetherington has been flying up the rankings from 206 to 65, and I think she was around 500. No, not quite right. Hetherington was close to 300 when we signed her. It was 2 something when we signed her, and she's already just flown up. Look at that points increase, and that is 4 tournament wins. 4 tournament wins for her with a 90% win ratio in 7 tournaments played. Clearly, she needs to move up a level in terms of the tournaments that she's partaking in, but she's also got a long ways to go in terms of development. And in the juniors, just the 1 tournament, first round loss. Not good on that one. She had that really difficult draw in that first round and does not move on. So that's definitely not helping her. In fact, both of her last 2 tournaments were first round exit. Finally, Nagunye, not going anywhere in the rankings and not going anywhere, period. 14% win rate is terrible. I think it's going to get even worse following her first round exit at the French Open, and that morale's only improved slightly so far after she had these ridiculous lofty expectations. You can see she wasn't even doing well before signing with us, and she's done terrible in the 2 tournaments since joining, and even through that stretch was not playing well. She was 1 win out of 5 matches played before coming to us. This week I put a lot of the team in this 500 level tournament in Birmingham. Nagunye, difficult draw, but out in the first round. Lackey does get through the first round, but she's got a difficult second round against Benchik. And Uni in this tournament, as the 2 seed, has a really great chance of getting pretty far in this one. You're looking at a first round matchup against Katrina Scott that's very, very favorable. Kasanseva likely in the second round, certainly favorable matchup for us at this stage. Third round's looking like favorable, and that's the quarters, so that would put us all the way into the semis already. And you're looking at that one as Anisimova. Anisimova is the likely toughest opponent that we're going to face all the way until the potential final of this one, which is Swiatek. However that is to be said. Montgomery, Benchik, those are the other tougher players as possibilities out there. This is one where you could see us getting right about to the final and would be the second biggest win we've ever had if we were to come through this one. But I think Swiatek, unless somebody beats her along the way, is got to be the favorite. Easy win against Scott, though that first round was I'm having difficulty with words today. That first set was certainly close, but then we blew her away in the second set. 8 aces, I think that's the most we've seen. Quarterfinals mostly set now. Swiatek still going. Benchik does knock off Lackey. Anisimova still the likely opponent ahead of us, or Burel, who we beat last time? Did we? Or is that the one who knocked us off? just a couple weeks ago in the Roland-Garros proper. Either way, at least the quarterfinal should be straightforward for us. Balanced match against Kasatkina, 39th ranked player, and she's that good but not ranked higher. Interesting that she doesn't do particularly well when she's overall that good, but we win pretty easily 6-1, 6-4. I would imagine she was only just on the edge of being good enough to be considered balanced with us, but that's still pretty surprising that her rank is that low when she's that good. Same can be said of our next round with Mertens. Mertens 30th in the ranking and somehow good enough to be considered balanced. 6-2, 6-4. That's what we do with the lower end of balance, though, these days. We do not lose many. From now, though, the road looks tougher. It's already the semis, though. So Anisimova should offer a decent challenge, 17th ranked player. Swiatek into the final. So we did not get help from others. We very nearly did, as Benchik really pushed that in the first two sets, both going to tiebreakers. But they split, and then she lost the third set. We'll play out the final if we get to it. For now, semis, Anisimova. Oh, we do. We are in the final 6-3, 7-6 with that tiebreaker win. Again with 8 aces. This is a new thing for Uni. We've been getting 2-4 as a pretty standard. But we did see an increase attribute-wise recently. Not to the power, but to the accuracy. And I think that might have just pushed us that slightly higher. Should get a few more aces as we have been slightly aggressive with our service for a long time, and our first serve percentage has dropped a little bit as a result. So here's the reasoning behind that. You have higher aggression and more accuracy, you feel more likely to take a risk. So aces go up, but that first serve percentage goes down a little, you would think. So that would be the reason for the trade-off. Score more aces, get past the opponent by hugging the edge of the line, but that extra aggression, that extra effort, those extra aces do mean a few more first serve misses. Looks like the second set went straight through all the way to the tiebreakers with serve holding. First set, we broke one time. That was the difference in that game. Total winners, identical on forced errors, +1. This could not have been much closer than it was, except for the fact that we ended up +10 on points overall. So we did have an advantage, but overall it was a slender one. Swiatek is somebody we've played twice before. First time she beat us pretty comfortably in straight sets. Second time it took 3 sets, but we did come away the winner, and that was Miami Open. I believe that was the one we won, or the one prior to the one that we won, but I think that was on our way towards that tournament victory for that 1,000 level. So that was round of 32. Souther was just a short while before that, maybe a week or two earlier, and was a loss. So we've played twice recently. It was the first times we've ever played. 50-50 against her all time, and we are balanced, but I think she's still got to be the favorite at this point. I would think she would have a better than 50% win ratio. I think we would have probably better than a 33% win ratio against her. I think we would settle somewhere in between there based on our current rating. Now, as we get better, that could change, but right now I think she's still the better player than we are at this stage.
Time. First set.
So it may not be a major tournament, but at 500, it's up there. It's definitely up there. And as mentioned before, this would go down as our second biggest victory in our career. So there's definitely a lot on the line. And we entered determined. That determination came through our pre-match talk. She was not looking so great. She was a bit nervous entering this final, as it's a stage that she has not quite been on too many times. Pretty big crowd on hand for this one, though again, not huge tournament, so it's not a huge stadium, but it is packed. We enter at full 100% stamina, and she does not. She's already below 90%. I think she started right about there, 88 to 90% on her stamina level, and is unfazed. So we do at least have an advantage there if it does go deep, but we're already in a bit of trouble as we've been broken in the very first game, and now we're going to have to play this whole set from the back foot, even if we regain some ground. Let's go ahead and speed things up. Already broken twice. We are in a world of hurt, down 3-love in 3 games played. Also, her unfazed has become enthusiastic, and she continues to dominate here in early play. Finally, claiming a game. Let's see if we can at least build a little bit of momentum here. I'm not as worried about trying to break this game, as I think the first set is a foregone conclusion. But if we can at least hold serve again on our next one, that would start off as a good momentum builder. And getting her down the stretch on this game, staying alive for it, even if we don't win it, is already a good sign. But it's going to have to come with winning the next game. This one back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Advantage has been hers more often, but we've had advantage a couple of times. Eventually, she does claim the game, but we come right back out with serve and dominate that next one, and finally, like I said, get that momentum swinging our direction a little bit. But here is set point. Ooh.
Game and first set.
We were lucky to get any of that one, and yeah, she attacked the net well. Beat us pretty handily there. 6-2, first set, a loss. Obviously, must-win set if we are to stay alive. And already she comes right off the bat and attacks the net. She's got the upper hand for sure. Even if we win this first game, it wasn't looking good, and she ends up breaking us again, and then easily wins that second game. So yeah, big trouble for us in this final. But like I said, she's the favorite. She's absolutely the favorite, and while I think we can beat her from time to time, it's going to be infrequent, and having gotten 1 out of 2 so far, you figure the odds are going to go her direction, and they are. She's crushing us in the second set. Nothing to do right now. Talking about it's not gonna. We're still pumped. We still have motivation. We're still into this, and changing tactics could make a difference, but it is what it is. I'm not too bothered in a 500 level tournament, and really not too bothered until we get a little bit further in that training. That 1000 level 1 tournament that we got was a little bit of a fluke at this point. Getting to the final of a 500 level tournament
second service
is getting there as realistic. We've cracked the top 10 in the rankings, which is higher than I thought we would get this year, slightly. Now we've done it with quite a bit of season left to go, and this is going to help with that ranking. It's going to be worth quite a bit of points, though we end up losing 6-2, 6-2 on this one. So for the second time, she's beat us pretty comfortably. The one time we beat her was really pushing it to its limit, right? It took all 3 sets, and it was close. Quick update on goals for the year. Uni, Lackey, Hetherington have all achieved their goals and are very happy with that one. Grant, Jovic, not terrible years, but definitely not good years. And neither one of them are going to be terribly pleased, though, for a change. They're not asking for that end of contract, surprisingly. I would happily accept, really, with either one at this point, as I think we can do so much better. And with how we've kind of missed out on Lackey and Hetherington and Nguyen, all of them, I think I think we're going to be looking for other options, and maybe better options. Maybe we do sign a top player and not just rely on Uni to get some tournament wins. Give her some competition through quality, potentially. Nguyen has gone from bad to worse, so We just signed her. Just signed her. She's been with us for like 3 weeks. Okay. Her goal setting was impossible. She hated what I tried to set for her and demanded that we set the goal absurdly high, which I knew she was not going to handle. I knew she wasn't going to be able to do it. And so she was very mad. So in the 3 weeks she's been with us, I've had 1 week to fix morale, and we boosted it, and that was good. A few days later, she's right back to 0 on her morale, right back to being super pissed. Reasoning, not achieving goals. So she's mad about the goals that were agreed upon, which weren't. She forced them. She's mad about not achieving goals. So she's already seen her terrible morale, which is contributing to her terrible form, which is contributing to not completing her goals. And while we work to fix it, she is sabotaging it at every possible turn. And this has all happened in just a few weeks. And it's a situation that's spiraling totally out of control. If we hadn't spent $2 million to get her signed, if there was an annulment possible, I'd be happy to sign it with her. She's not going to develop the way we were hoping she would, because at 19 she's just exited her early bloomer phase apparently, and B, she's got a terrible attitude that is just not worth it to deal with. Next up for us is Wimbledon. For that, I'm excited. I'm hoping to get back out there and going, and maybe Nagunye can get a win or two to push things along. But with poor form and awful morale, my expectation for her is ridiculously low. She'll be lucky to get past a round. At least doing that would be something, but I don't see it going well for her. And outside of Hetherington right now, there's just not much progression in anyone other than Grant's getting that little bit. And for that small positive with Grant, I'm still tempted to maybe hang on to her a little longer. Jovic definitely. Jovic is not progressing at all and has been awful for ages. And her demands on contract stuff has been really bad. Her form is terrible because she literally loses in the first round every tournament. So that one's an obvious choice. But anyway, I guess that's a long-winded, that's where we're at. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.